Today I'm covering everything you need to know about Plan G versus Plan N. These plans are available in all states except Massachusetts, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. However, this is still worth watching because plans in those states are almost identical to a G and an N. They just have different names. If you reside in Massachusetts, Minnesota, or Wisconsin, leave a comment below and I'll get you your state specific info. That's a hard word, specific. Okay, in this video, I am covering what you need to know before even considering a Plan G or a Plan N, what plan type are Plan G and Plan N. We'll do a comparison between the two and where to get pricing. I'm Pam Turner, the creator and facilitator of the Medicare Facebook group known as Navigating Medicare the Easy Way. I help you to get rid of all those fears and worries about getting onto Medicare and enrolling in the right plan by streamlining the whole process for you. Here's what you need to know before you even consider a Plan G or a Plan N. It's important to know that even though it feels like there's hundreds of options for your Medicare plan, you only have 2 plan types to choose from. So why does this matter? When you have all this new information coming at you, every company wants your business, and there could be as many as 30 to 40 companies in your area. Each company might have anywhere from 2 to 3 or up to 10 plan options for every company. That's just insane. How can you make a decision when you have to sift through that much information? What if you had a prescribed way to get from point A to point B? And as long as you follow each step in order, it would make everything so much more understandable and easy. That's my goal for you. You'll need to understand the difference between a Medigap plan and a Medicare Advantage plan before you even consider a Plan G or a Plan N. Plan G and Plan N are Medigap plans. Once you understand the difference between Medigap and Advantage plans, you'll be able to tell which one is the better fit for you. So that's your homework. You can request my Decoding Medicare Workbook in the comments below by typing the word workbook. It has a page that gets into how these 2 plan types are complete polar opposites of each other. Just type the word workbook in the comments below and I'll send you a link to sign up to have that workbook automatically emailed to you. Here's a brief overview of Medigap plans. A Medigap plan gets paired with Original Medicare. Medicare stays as the primary coverage and pays your bills first. Why is that important? Whomever's paying the medical bills first is who has a contract or relationship with your doctor. Maybe you've heard of the term network if you've had an employer plan or a marketplace plan. Your doctor needs to accept the insurance. So if Medicare pays first, your doctor needs to accept Medicare. Therefore, the company of your Medigap plan doesn't matter to your doctor. It just matters that he accepts Medicare. This can be a hard concept to wrap your brain around, and I get that. When you have a Medigap plan, there is no doctor network. This just means more freedom for you and no referrals to see a specialist. Advantage plans are the complete opposite. Medicare isn't the primary payer anymore. When you join an Advantage plan, whatever Advantage plan company you sign up with becomes the primary payer of your medical claims. So your doctor needs to accept that insurance company and that specific Advantage plan. Can you see how these scenarios are completely opposite of each other? Medigap lets you see any doctor that accepts Medicare, while Advantage plans require you to be in network. Now, there are PPO Advantage plans that let you go out of network, but the doctor still has to agree to accept the plan, so it's not guaranteed. The biggest attraction of the Advantage plans is the low or 0 monthly cost, so if this is something that appeals to you, keep that in mind. Medigap plans have a monthly premium that typically runs between $100 and $200 a month. I know that's a broad range, but we're going to talk about where to get specific pricing in a little bit. Sometimes you can get a Medigap plan for less than $100 a month, depending where you live. I just covered what you need to know up until this point in this video before even considering a Plan G or a Plan N. So to recap, you need to know the difference between Medigap and Advantage plans, and you need to know which one is a better fit for you, which is going to become a lot clearer to you when you get the whole breakdown of these plans, either through my workbook or by checking out my full Medigap versus Medicare Advantage plans, either in the Facebook group under events. You can go back and watch the old video, or on my Decoding Medicare YouTube channel. You've also learned that Plan G and Plan N are Medigap plans. Next, we're going to go into a detailed comparison between Plan G and Plan N. If you have access to a piece of paper and a pen, that's even better. Once we're done, you'll have a visual all in one place of how this works. I'm going to tell you exactly what to write down. You can make 2 columns, Plan G on the left and Plan N on the right. Under Plan G, I want you to write down Plan G pays, and under Plan N, I want you to write down Plan N pays. I'm having you write down what each plan pays for so you can have an easy side-by-side comparison. Under both sides, write down all hospital costs, including extra 365 days. Again, that's all hospital costs, including extra 365 days. Yes, it's true, your Medicare hospital days can run out, so both of these plans give you an extra 365 days of hospital coverage. Also, under both sides, write down Part B 20%, and I'll explain what that means. So far, both sides should look the same. They both cover all hospital costs, and under both sides, you should have written Part B 20%. This 20% is your out-of-pocket cost for all doctor services and any medical costs aside from hospital. In other words, both plans pay your 20% of medical costs for you. Medicare is picking up the 80%. Under Plan G, I want you to write excess charges, but don't write that under Plan N. That word is excess as an extra, so it's excess charges. So far, both plans cover all hospital costs and your Part B out-of-pocket 20%. The only difference so far is Plan G covers excess charges and Plan N doesn't, unless you're in one of the few states that doesn't allow excess charges, and I'm going to talk about what that is in a minute. Next, under each side for Plan G and Plan N, I want you to write the words you pay. This is because we're going to talk next about what do you actually pay out of pocket on each plan. Under the Plan G side, under you pay, write down the $257 Medicare deductible. And under the Plan N side, under you pay, you'll also write down the same, $257 Medicare deductible. This is the Part B deductible on Medicare. But also under the Plan N side, I want you to write down office visit copays, up to $20 for office visits, and $50 for ER, which is the emergency room. Now I'm going to repeat that. Under the Plan N side, up to $20 for office visits. That's only for an office visit, and it's not for any services. It's just the office visit portion. And $50 for ER. I also want you to write down under the Plan N side, excess charges. You pay any excess charges. Okay, let me explain what excess charges are. Excess charges are not common at all, so just keep that in mind. And Plan N still remains a great value despite this. Now, what this is if your doctor accepts Medicare but doesn't accept what's called assignment. That means he or she doesn't accept the Medicare approved amount for services. And doctors in most states that allow this are allowed to charge up to 15% more. And on a Plan N, you would get that bill. So again, this is quite rare. And when you have a scheduled medical procedure, you can ask in advance if the doctor accepts assignment. Most states allow the excess charges, but a few states don't, which makes this plan an even better value in those states. Here's the states where excess charges are outlawed or limited. So Plan N or its equivalent would be an even better value for you if you live in one of these following states: Connecticut, Massachusetts, Minnesota, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, and Vermont. So in a nutshell, with Plan G, your only out-of-pocket for the year after you've already paid for your Medicare Part B premium is your Plan G premium and your $257 Medicare deductible. Add all of that up, and that's the most you'll pay in a year for medical costs. But this is not including prescriptions though, so I'm only talking the medical side, and prescriptions is a whole other topic. On a Plan N, your out-of-pocket for the year is your Medicare Part B premium, your Plan N premium, the $257 deductible, any office visit or ER copays, and then that potential for the excess charges. I do want to mention that the Part D drug plans are separate on the Medigap plan, so you'd have an additional monthly cost for the drug plan itself, that monthly premium, and also any drug copays if you have medications that you take. This is completely different with Advantage plans because Part D drug coverage is bundled into the Advantage plan. Especially if you get a zero premium Advantage plan, you wouldn't have any extra premium for that drug plan. However, there could still be an upfront deductible and copays for the drugs on the Advantage plan. So what about cost for the Medigap plans, the G and the N? How do you find the cost or monthly premium for these plans? You might already have realized how hard it is to find Medigap pricing online. Everywhere you look, they want your personal information, phone number, email, and almost every time you'll find your information gets sold to about 20 different agents and you're getting bombarded with calls and emails. But the good news is you can now get specific pricing on Medicare.gov. Medicare.gov used to only offer a general range of pricing, but now you can view specific prices if you enter age, male, female, tobacco use, and they give you the company name and the monthly price. Medicare.gov is the one safe place to enter this information, and you won't get bombarded with calls. Just make sure to check the upper left corner of the website. You want to see that statement that says an official website of the United States government. Make sure it says Medicare.gov, G-O-V, not Medicare.com or any other similar lookalike website. There's a lot of mistrust in this industry, and people feel like if they call somewhere to get pricing or engage with a telemarketer, they might get pressured into buying something they don't want, or they might get bombarded even more, and that does happen. So now you know where you can go to find pricing yourself. That brings me to talking about what I offer, how it's a little different working with me versus doing this entire process by yourself. You've probably heard me say that pricing is the same whether you go through a broker or sign up direct through the carrier. Probably the biggest issue that may get in the way of working with a broker is trust. If a broker is getting a commission, doesn't that mean he or she will steer you into just one plan type or one company? I'm sure this can happen sometimes, but you can usually get a sense of someone and how they come across. Are they being pushy? Are they respecting your thoughts and your input? Are they just trying to rush you? Are they being condescending? If you've done an appointment with me, you'll find that I'm probably the least pushy insurance broker out there. I give you as much time as you need and probably sell a lot less because of it, but being pushy or overbearing is just not how I want to do business. I have access to a few extras when I'm looking at quotes in the private broker tool that I have over and above what you're able to view in Medicare.gov. I'm able to view market data on these plans, which includes an approximation of how many people are enrolled in your state with each company, and also gives you an idea. This will give you an idea of the size of the risk pool in your area, and also prior rate increase history. So these extra pieces of information might help you if you're stuck on deciding what company to go with. I do encourage you to consider working with me as your broker, even if you prefer to do all your own research, because once I do your enrollments for you, I become your advocate ongoing for the life of your plans. This is so needed as things change in this industry. It's no longer enough to just do your research one time, make a decision about your Medicare, and then you're done for life. These days, it feels like you have to relearn everything each and every year because the annual open enrollment for Advantage plans and drug plans is happening, and there's changes every single year. And if you don't stay on top of the changes, you can end up way overpaying. Aside from doing a free annual review with you every year during open enrollment, I'm available to help you anytime you have questions or concerns about your coverage or any claims or medical bills that are confusing. So do yourself a favor, reach out to me to get the help that you need no matter where you are in the process. We can take as much time as you need to get you up to speed. To check my availability and book a phone appointment, visit my contact page on decodingmedicare.com. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video.